My wife and I are both pharmacists, and your story, however, every story is unique, and yours sounds very, very unique and powerful. It is not that untypical when somebody goes in, accesses the traditional healthcare system, and one thing just builds on another. And next thing you know, somebody is on, 3 different meds, 5 different meds, 20 different medications. And like you say, that's why it's important for us to take responsibility for our own health. And as a healthcare professional, I can help educate people, and that's what I feel my purpose is. But ultimately, we have to educate and empower individuals to take charge of their own health.
It's really the only way to do it. And it's supposed to be an empowering message, right? I think some people, a fraction of the population, hears it initially and it almost seems defeating. It's like, it's not that at all. We're giving you the reins back. We're saying, hey, it's going to be a little harder than if someone could come wave a magic wand and fix it for you. Trust me, I'd like that too. We're not there yet in healthcare. That's not how we do these things. And so here's the reins. You can figure it out. Going to be a little bit of a journey, but there's also a really beautiful side to this, because it's easy for me to say this on the other side, and I acknowledge that. But I find that the health journey is more of a personal development journey than it even is a health thing. I could give you all the right tools today to help you with your health. We could run the labs and get you the results in a few weeks. Like, we could tell you all that stuff, but most people don't change overnight. There's other things that go into this. There's things that we need to give up to kind of go up. And I always like to use the picture. It's a little cheesy, but I love it, of like a hot air balloon, right? You got to let go of certain things, and then you can move higher and higher. So that's kind of how it is with the health thing. And I wouldn't have it any other way. I could look back and say, man, it sucks that my entire childhood and teenage years led to all this bad stuff. But then at the same time, I wouldn't be able to do the work that I do today. I enjoy every second of work, where most people, let's call it what it is, unfortunately go to work for 40, 50 hours a week and they can't wait to go home. I don't think like that. So there's always gifts on the other side of the things that we seem to have been cursed with. We just have to change that perspective.
That's awesome. Very, very powerful story. And, I'll tell you, we have a lot in common, because I feel the same way. I mean, my wife and I absolutely love what we do. We've created a niche of what we do, and we absolutely love it. And we embrace work because we love it so much. So, and I think that's a mindset too, as you know.
Yeah. Well, you got to do it anyway. I remember reading the personal development stuff at 18, and I might have been doing it for health stuff at first, kind of. But then I applied it to business and life. I'm like, wait, I got to do this for a minimum of 40 years, most likely. Some people can do it faster, but a lot of people are longer nowadays. And you're telling me I got to do it Monday through Friday, and it's going to be 8 hours of work at least. And then I'm going to have to maybe do a commute and things. And I don't do the commute now, obviously, as I'm sitting in my home doing this. But
Right.
When you think about it that way, I just took this and said, well, why would I want to hate what I'm doing all that time? Or at the very least, if I'm starting out with something that's not ideal, because yes, I'm in a much better position now work-wise than I was 9 years ago. I love every aspect of my work now. 9 years ago was maybe 50-50, and it gets a little better over time. But the thing is, it's like, even if it can't be perfect in the moment, I'm not suggesting that it's a utopia from day one just by changing your mindset, but you got to have something to work towards. And it's like, even if it was going to take you 5 to 10 years, all right, cool. Well, 75% of your working years are still going to be fantastic then, because you put in the 10 years to do it. And I think the other problem is, and you know this all too well, it's like when we're seeing the shifts in society, and in my generation especially, everyone's so short term. It's like, how can I get rich in a year? It's like, dude, that's not how this works. Like, you gotta have a long-term plan, and a lot of people are not willing to execute on it anymore. The good news is, for those that are willing to execute on long-term plans, there are advantages in today's world. There is the internet. Things can be done faster than ever before. So if you're even willing to do it a little bit, the results that you will get will surpass anyone that's older than you and your family, for the most part, because they were on a longer term plan. So I'm grateful for it. And I think people need to think that way.
We do live in an instant gratification world, and especially your generation, or a little bit younger too, or even a little bit older than you. They weren't taught delayed gratification, that it takes years to build what their parents has built. They expected it right away.
Yeah.
And I tell my kids, I have 2 boys, and they are 23 and 21. And I said, the great news is about your generation, it's going to be pretty easy to compete with them. Show up and work, and you will do better than 90% of everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
Yeah.